Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Cardano and its native token ADA. And quite honestly, I feel like Cardano is holding up about as good as we could have expected it to. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Now, short-term moves in the crypto market have a way of really affecting our outlook on the health of a specific cryptocurrency. But one interesting thing about Cardano is because of this pump here, the retracement just took us back to where we were rather than dropping from this level. Okay, so imagine for a minute, let's go back in time, in our heads, right? In our heads, let's go back in time to April, to the end of April. And if I told you at the end of April that Bitcoin was going to have a 50% correction and that the price of ADA would actually be higher than it was that week, you probably wouldn't have believed me, okay? So when you look at this, when you look at really what happened, the fact that ADA is trading at $1.35 to some degree is nothing short of remarkable, in my opinion. It's hard to imagine believing a story back over here to say that, okay, within 1 month, Bitcoin will crash 50% and ADA is going to be just chugging along. Now, the reason it's still just chugging along is because, well, it had this move, okay? Likely, if we had just been going sideways and then we got the 50% drop, yeah, we'd already be down here probably. But we're not, and the reason is because the drop for ADA originated from 250 or so. So the 50% drop that we have right now, or if you want to go down to say the bottom of the wick, about a 63% drop, it came after this sort of short-term crazy move to the upside where the valuation of ADA doubled within just a few weeks. Okay, so while if you bought up here, you're probably not feeling so great. But I mean, I imagine that there are a lot of people that have a cost basis in ADA that probably is lower than the current price for most people, just because of how long we spent consolidating here and how long we spent in some of these other areas. So I would say, I mean, with ADA, you can also see how well it has been holding up against Ethereum. And, we talked about this the other day and how a lot of altcoins are in fact bleeding against Ethereum. And this would be expected when you get a market dump. Bitcoin tends to hold up the best, then Ethereum tends to do pretty well over the span of, say, an entire dump, maybe not on any given day. But then altcoins a lot of times get absolutely hammered against their USD valuations, against their Bitcoin valuations, and against their Ether valuations. But what do we notice? Bitcoin started this fairly impressive dump, let's say on May 10th, okay? And if you go over here to May 10th, you can see that since then, ADA has not lost value against Ethereum. In fact, it's gone up about 60%. Which is somewhat impressive. I mean, hell, the local top for Ethereum against Ethereum is only another, or the local top of ADA against Ethereum is only another modest 60% higher than where we currently are, which is, again, it's saying a lot. I know that might not seem like something that's that impressive, but I can assure you, as far as altcoins go, this is one hell of a move to make when Bitcoin's going down against Ethereum. Now, when you look at it against Bitcoin, of course, when you look at it against Bitcoin, we have been trending down. And of course, this is expected, just like we might expect it to bleed against Ethereum, but it didn't bleed against Ethereum. Against Bitcoin, if you go to May 10th, when Bitcoin really started that move, ADA first started moving up, and then it only really started crashing on May 17th. And then May 17th was when we really started to move down relatively quickly after this initial drop. So we dropped initially a couple days of sideways movement. ADA was going up against Bitcoin. And then this next leg down, ADA started to give up a little bit of confidence against Bitcoin and has since been moving down. But since the dump started, we're still net up. Okay. Now, when you zoom out for the ADA Bitcoin valuation, you can see that in fact we're doing quite well. We're doing quite well so far. And we had this move here, and we came back for a while, and then we had another move, and we're coming back some. Remember, one of the things I told you back a week or two ago is that Bitcoin dropping like this would make ADA drop significantly, and we've talked extensively about 60% corrections are easily going to happen in crypto. And so far, I think us holders of ADA should count ourselves fortunate that 60% move came right after an impulsive move to the upside. I think we're somewhat fortunate. Now, we're not necessarily out of the woods yet, okay? And I think a lot of people might get this impression that we're immediately out of the woods and that ADA is going to start putting in new all-time highs immediately. I don't think that ADA is going to immediately put in new all-time highs, if I'm being completely honest. By the way, if I normally say this at the beginning, but if you have ADA and you're looking to earn rewards on it, earn interest, remember to go check out the ITC stake pool and come earn interest on your ADA. We have around 28 million ADA now in that stake pool, so we're just churning along. So from here, why are we not out of the woods yet? Well, a lot of people might not really follow the price of Bitcoin, especially newer people to the market. Well, Bitcoin's still in a downtrend, okay? And if it continues in this downtrend and we don't see any type of relief rally in the short term, then we need to be very aware that in the scenario that it keeps dumping, it's likely going to make the valuation of ADA continue to go down as well. Okay, so if you look at the last several days, you'll note that ADA is in a downtrend of its own. Okay, it's in a downtrend of its own. And so I don't want us to automatically assume that we're out of the woods yet. In the grand scheme of the market cycle, I think we're fine, but we also recognize that Bitcoin could consolidate for a while. We might not get a V-shaped recovery. And when you look at Bitcoin, one of the things I think that's important to note is our bull market support band. You guys know I like talking about this one quite frequently, and we did recently break below it. So in the event of a rally by Bitcoin back up to this band, I imagine ADA could do quite well. And if you want to see ADA put in new all-time highs, you would probably want to see Bitcoin break above the band and hold it as support and continue it. That would likely bring new all-time highs for ADA. If instead we either go down or go up to the bull market support band and get rejected, both of which are decent possibilities, then the valuation of ADA would have it'd be very improbable for an immediate new all-time high for the valuation of ADA against the US dollar. Against Ethereum, it's looking pretty good so far. Against Bitcoin, obviously it's trending down. We're sort of making these slow moves up. I mean, this first move started, you could argue back in December, and it moved up about 500% over a couple months. And then maybe you could argue that this one started right here, and it moved up around 100% over about 18 days or so. If you want to go from the bottom over here, about 200% over a couple months. But we also need to note that this consolidation phase here would lasted from March until May, which is honestly a fairly short consolidation phase. But anyways, I just wanted to give you guys an update on ADA. I think it's remarkable how well it's holding up, given the fact that Bitcoin has dropped 50% from its all-time high. If you didn't see this part and you only saw this, and the idea that ADA is still in this range, despite the fact that the Bitcoin dumped 50%, is nothing short of remarkable. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check out the premium list. You can find a sale in the description below. We also do have merch. If you want to get an Into the Cryptoverse t-shirt or a What's a Few Trillion Dollars Among Friends t-shirt, remember to check out the store. You can find a link to that in the description below. Thank you guys for tuning in. Remember to check out the ITC stake pool if you want to earn interest on your ADA. Subscribe, click the bell icon to turn on notifications, and I'll see you next time. Bye.